All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get started here. Welcome. My name is Sam Elder. I am an admissions counselor here at UTC. Thank you so much for being here for this orientation. We're really excited to have everyone here today. So this is the Academic Opportunities and Services panel. So we're going to hear all about some of the great opportunities we have for our students, as well as some of the services that are provided for them when they are students here to make their lives a little bit easier. So today we have Mr. Jordan Hicks, who is from our Performing Arts Department. We've got, let's see here. We've got Tracy Hughes, who is with our UTC Step Ahead Math program. We've got Sarah Copeland, who's with our library. Mr. Adam Nemo, who is from the Information Technology, our IT department. And then we have Mr. Joel Wells from the Registrar's Office. He is our University Registrar. So a lot of really awesome speakers today. We're really happy we've got all these great people with us here. If you have a question all throughout this, please drop your question in the chat, and then we will answer it at the end during our Q&A. I will ask all of our moderators if we can hold off on answering all questions until the end, so that way we can get all of them out at once, and we can really kind of hopefully shorten up a little bit there. But I'm going to go ahead and shut my mouth and hand it over to our guest speakers. So first up, we've got Mr. Jordan Hicks, who is from the Performing Arts Department. He's going to tell us all about that. So Jordan, go ahead.
Thanks, Sam. Thank you all for joining us today. I wish we could be doing this on campus in person, but we really appreciate you all taking the time out of your day to, to join us. My name's Jordan. I'm the first year coordinator for the Department of Performing Arts. A UTC Performing Arts is made of two divisions, Division of Music and Division of Theater. So we're the department and we teach folks how to become professional musicians, professional actors, scenic designers, composers. We have a costume shop where we teach folks how to become professional costume designers. We also have the brand new music therapy program, which we're really excited about. So we have all that going on academically, but on top of that, we're also home to the student music ensembles and the UTC Theater Company, which we typically produce about 4 shows a year, plays and musicals. So we have a lot going on. We're a very dynamic department, and I'm really excited to be able to talk with you all about that today. I used to go to UTC. I had a lot of majors. Music and theater were never one of them. But while I was here on campus, music in particular was really my home, especially the choirs. So it was the continuity that really I had while I was on campus. I thought about leaving a couple of times, actually dropping out of school. And it was really the community I had built, particularly within the choirs, that really kept me here. And really focused on graduation. So if you're looking to be involved on top of just going to class, something I really encourage everyone to do, whether it's music, theater, or one of the other activities we have going on campus. And we have so many more than I can talk about today. There's really something for everyone here. But what I'm going to do today is give you kind of a quick snapshot of what we have going on in the department and just a quick view of all the different ensembles and the company, the theater company, just to let you know of what we have to offer. So I'll start off with the choirs. There are 4 of them. The first is the women's chorus. It's open to students who are singing soprano or alto, and they meet 2 days a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10:50 to 12:05. They're a non-audition group, meaning all you have to do is you sign up for the class and you show up on day 1, you're singing. They're a traditional choir as well, so they're performing both early music, modern music, and really anything in between, but traditional choral music. And they're directed by Dr. Allison Allerton. They're a really good group if you're wanting to kind of get your feet wet and get to know us as a department in the vocal area. The women's chorus is a really good group for you to join. The next group is Chattanooga Singers. It's our concert choir. Chat Singers is a mixed voice group, meaning soprano, alto, tenors, and basses are all welcome to join. There is a small audition involved. It's more like a voice check. So we bring folks in, we have them sing a few songs and just check their vocal range so that we can accurately place you in one of your voice parts. They're the group that we call on to partner with other groups across campus, or especially in the city of Chattanooga. For example, last spring, we had a really big concert scheduled with the Chattanooga Symphony. And unfortunately, due to COVID, we had to cancel that. But those are the type of events that chat singers are called on to work on and to perform in. And they're the group that we call on to do that. So that's Chattanooga Singers, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 12:15 to 1:30, so a little bit later in the afternoon. The next group is Chamber Singers. Chamber Singers is our most select group on campus. They're the main touring choir. They perform the most, they rehearse the most because of that. They rehearse 4 days a week, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. They're the group that typically students join one of our other choirs, and then they end up in Chamber Singers after a while. I used to be a chamber singer when I was on campus, but I had been in a couple of our other courses at the time before I joined chamber. So the membership is open by selective spots. So when students leave the group, we have spots open up, and then new students are able to audition. And it's a full vocal audition in order to join. Chamber Singers goes on an international tour once every 3 years. Typically, when things are a little more normal, every 3 years is usually when we take them across overseas. Lately, they've been to places like Ireland, Scotland, Germany, Czech Republic, Austria, to name a few places. So they're the group that we call on to do special events like that and to go on tours. But that's Chamber Singers. The last choir on campus is our Singing Monks. Singing Monks are they're our contemporary choir. So imagine a group like Pentatonics, or music that you would hear on the movie Pitch Perfect, or even Glee, the TV show Glee. They're the group that performs that type of contemporary a cappella, vocal jazz, commercial a cappella. They're the group that does that. They meet on Monday and Wednesday afternoons from 4:30 to 5:45, and they're also directed by Dr. Allison Aldrin. So if you're looking for something a little more contemporary, a little more modern, Singing Monks are definitely the choir for you. Next up are the bands. So we have 4 bands on campus, the most visible being the Marching Monks, our marching band. I was a band kid in high school. I had a lot of practice time involved with that. It was my life. We practiced 5 days a week. We did 3 weeks in the summer, 12-hour days at band camp. We practiced every Saturday, usually in the fall, about 8 hours. In marching band in college, it's not like that. It's not like a competitive high school. We're a lot more relaxed. At UTC, we have 3 days a week that our students practice, and that's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 2 to 4. Usually we would do a band week right before school starts, but we're not doing that this year due to COVID. We're just giving things a little more time to kind of even out before. But what we're doing is the first day of classes is our first day of rehearsals for the Marching Monks. So that's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2 to 4. And otherwise, that's it. A neat thing about the Marching Monks is a lot of students who are in the group are on stipends. So we have a stipend system that ranges anywhere from about $200 all the way up to $1,000 per year for each student to be in the group. So if you're looking for the reward of just being in the group, but also a financial reward for being in the band, the marching band might be a good fit for you. But that's the marching band. We also have a pep band that plays at volleyball games and home men's and women's basketball games. And they also have a stipend system involved. But what it is that students are able to play at games and get paid for those games. It's about $30 a game. And they're also able to set up their schedule so that if they need to play at a game, but they can't make another game, they're able to set it up so that they can opt into games and opt out of games. And we also have a jazz band and a concert band. They typically meet in the spring, at least at this point. The jazz band meets on Tuesdays and Thursday afternoons, and they're a traditional jazz band. And then lastly, our concert band meets in the springs from Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2 to 4. So essentially, they take the time that the marching band has in the fall. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2 to 4 in the spring for our concert band. Our last instrumental ensemble is the Symphony. The Symphony meets on Tuesday nights from 7 to 9. They've really grown in size and strength over the past few years. They've got about 60 people in it. When I started working in here at UTC, they had about 20 people. So they've really grown over the past couple of years. And their traditional symphony, they focus primarily on large orchestral works, but they play a lot of music from film and opera and really kind of anything in between. But that's the UTC Symphony Orchestra. The last thing is the UTC Theater Company. At UTC, we do 4 shows a year. We usually start off with a drama in the fall. So think Shakespeare, Greek tragedy, something by George Bernard Shaw, something like that, a traditional drama. We move on to a comedy, and that's usually wraps up our fall. Then we move on in the spring, and we start the spring off with a production that's more new experimental theater, a kind of avant-garde show. And then we wrap up the year with a musical. We get asked a lot if students who are not theater majors can be involved in theater productions, and you definitely can. What we do is at the beginning of every semester, we send out emails, so to your UTC account, letting folks know where auditions are going to be, when they're going to be, and what you need to have prepared in order to audition. So if you're wanting to be involved with one of our productions, whether they're one of the plays or a musical, the musical especially, most of our non-majors are involved with that production. Check out your email at the beginning of each semester. We'll have the information posted there, and you can join us to be able to audition for one of our productions. And with that, that in a nutshell, it's kind of what we have going on at UTC in Performing Arts. I'll send it back to you, Sam, but I'm happy to answer any questions you might have later on.
Thanks so much, Jordan. So just a reminder, y'all, we are answering questions at the end. So if you have a question, please drop it in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. So next up, we have Tracy Hughes, who is with our mathematics department. Seems like she's enjoying a beautiful day outside. So we're going to let Tracy talk about Step Ahead Math and all the cool things going on with that program. So Tracy, go ahead.
Thank you, Sam. So it's funny that Jordan's been talking about band because I'm at band camp right now. So if you hear drums and stuff going on in the background, that's what that is. So I'm up over in the corner trying to find a quiet place. But so normally I would be talking about Step Ahead. However, we have had to cancel our Step Ahead program due to COVID. So we are working on some other alternatives right now. So I'm going to talk to you about some of the other options for obtaining prereqs for math, and answer questions that you might have about prereqs for math. So Step Ahead normally is for our students who don't have a math ACT of 19 or higher and cannot get into one of our entry-level math courses, which are Math 1130, which is college algebra, Math 1710, which is pre-Cal 1, and Math 2150, which is our math for elementary and middle school teachers class. So those three classes all have a minimum math ACT requirement of 19 or higher. And so we do the Step Ahead boot camp program so that they can get their prerequisite taken care of so they can go ahead and start into a college level math course. And so we're coming up with some new ideas for things that we can do in the next few weeks so that students can still start to take their math course straight away when they start their fall semester. And so I'm going to talk to you about all of those options, and I'm going to throw into the chat here a link that is not public yet. On our website, there's not a link to this, but I'm going to go ahead and give you the link so that you can go straight to our placement test website. And from there, you will be able to see all of the different options that you have for obtaining a prerequisite if you don't already have the prereq for your math class. And so I'm going to share my screen with you and show you what's on this website and show you how to navigate where you need to go. So here is our placement test website, and it has all the information about the test. It has these three courses that I told you about that you would need a prerequisite for. You can find all the placement criteria if you click on this link for all of our math courses. So if you already know what math course you need and it's not one of these three, you can easily find that information by going to this website. There are instructions for how to access the test. You can try to achieve a placement score to take a placement test. And it's very easy. We have created a Canvas course that has the placement test in it. It also has access to be able to take a practice test if you want to take a practice test, and also that you can review if you need to after you've taken that practice test, the placement test. So there's all the information here that you need for the placement test, everything that you need to know about what you need to do, how to get access to it, and all of that stuff. So you can view all of that under the placement test. And to this placement test webpage, what I wanted to show you is here are other options for obtaining the prerequisite for those three courses that we talked about, which are the majority of our students about those. That is where most of for obtaining the prerequisite. If you don't have a math score of 19, you just can register to take it on our campus for placement purposes only. So this is not an official ACT score that is going to go on as an official ACT score for you to use anywhere else. It only is valid on our campus for placement purposes. So you can take the ACT residual here on our campus, and there's a link on this website so that you can register to take the test if you want to do that. And you can choose just to take the math section if you want to, if that's all you're worried about, just getting a math placement. You take really talk about that one until after we get it all finalized. But I will take your email addresses if you want more information on it. And once we do have it, it will be listed here on this website. So you can also UTC placement test.
Hey, Tracy, you're breaking up pretty bad. Let's see here. Did we lose you? I guess we did. All right, so sorry about that, y'all. These connections can be a little spotty sometimes. While we wait, I'm going to see if we can get her back. But while we wait for Tracy, I guess we'll go ahead and keep on moving. So next up, we've got Sarah Copeland, who is with the UTC Library, one of the coolest buildings we've got on campus. So many amazing things going on there. She's going to tell you about all those amazing things and how fantastic the building it is. So Sarah, go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Sam, for that intro. I've worked at UTC Library for just about a year, and I actually supervise the customer service team that most students and faculty actually work with when they come into the library to do, I don't want to say anything, but a lot of things. So anyway, our brand new building, which was built in 2015, is open 7 days a week, and that's we're planning for that to be true even this fall, despite all of the COVID pandemic. We also, despite the pandemic, we are planning to offer study rooms. It's going to look a little different than it has in the past. So if you have an older sibling or maybe a parent who's recently come through UTC, just know that the study rooms are going to look a little different than they have in the past. But we'll still offer access to those and the computer lab that we have and the studio, which I know is a really popular spot on campus. The studio offers design spec machines, gig internet, and production suites. And then the building also hosts a Starbucks, which is very popular, the advising center, and supplemental instruction. So it tends to be a hub of activity on most days of the week. So as far as our collections, most of our collections are available in an electronic format. And that's true for our journals, ebooks, and then we also have a lot of streaming videos. We still buy print books, though. I know that might come as a surprise to some people. And then we've got a legacy print collection, and you can check out up to 50 books for the whole semester. And by the way, if you bring a couple of those back, you can always have out up to 50 at a time. We also offer DVDs for checkout, including a really popular DVD collection that has foreign films, popular movies, all sorts of really great stuff. Folks are really excited about our movie collection. When we don't have something that you need, we can get it from another library using a service called interlibrary loan. That's a very popular service. And another one of our most popular services is our circulating technology. We are going to be offering laptops and calculators for sure. For I think 24-hour circulation is what we're looking at for the fall. This is being adjusted slightly to account for another program that the library is running, which is semester loans of technology. So if you happen to find yourself in a position where you need a laptop or a webcam or something like that for more than just a day, you think it's going to be an ongoing need throughout the semester, we might be able to hook you up with a device that you can use. And there is a form that you can fill out to make that request, which when I get done talking, I'll put that link in the chat. Also available for checkout is technology from our studio, and they have video, photography, audio recording, and music production tech that's available either for checkout for use outside the library, or they have some really, really cool stuff available for use in the library. I will say, though, that I'm pretty sure they're planning for the virtual reality suite to be closed just because of the mask that has to fit over your face in order to use that space. So it's a little disappointing, but hopefully we can get back to offering that sooner rather than later. And then as far as our services, we tend to be a really great spot to ask for help with technology, just general directions around campus, and research help. And all of that help is available virtually as well. So you can text us or chat with us through the box on our website, and we're happy to answer your question during any open hours. And that includes right now, there would be someone answering your question right now if you were to chat a question into the library from our website. So it's very exciting that even if you don't feel like you can come to campus because of just circumstances surrounding the pandemic, the library is here for you, and we can be in your living room or wherever it is you happen to be, and are ready to help with collection services and answers, hopefully. And I'll get that link to the form for semester technology checkouts in the chat in just a moment.
Great. Thanks so much, Sarah. So it looks like we were able to get Tracy back. So I'm going to go ahead and let her continue on. So sorry about that technical glitch we had there. So Tracy, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm so sorry that we had issues, but I'm going to finish telling you about all of these options. So there's the ACT residual that you can take, and then the placement test that you can take. Those two things, though, don't provide you any assistance as far as increasing your math knowledge necessarily. You can obviously do some review before you take those, but they don't necessarily help you learn the material. So if you need help with learning the material and you feel like your math skills are weak, then you're going to need some additional learning. So one of the options for that will be to take what's called Math 1006 or 1007, which is intermediate algebra. If you take it at Chattanooga State, for example, it's Math 1030, so the numbering might be a little bit different, but there's a link here for finding transfer equivalencies so that you can figure out what it is at whichever community college you want to take that developmental math course. So there are lots of options right now. Those are the main three options, and we're working on one more option that will also help you be able to start taking your math course and also learn that developmental material simultaneously, hopefully. We're just waiting on some final approvals to be made for that. But once that happens, we'll post that here. And if you want to put your email address in the chat, if you're interested in getting an email when that information is available, I would be happy to include you in my email that I'm going to send out about that information. So those are all of the things that you can find from that link that I posted earlier in our chat. You can also find all of the FAQs for the placement test. This is something new that we're doing at UTC that we've never done before. So it's a brand new thing so that you have another way to be able to place into your math course. course. And so you can go to that placement test webpage that I showed you, which is this one, and you can read all the FAQs, take the test if you want, see how you do. And if you don't score a 75% or better to be able to place into one of those courses, then you can try something else. So, and like I said, if you're interested in one of the other options, you can drop your email address in the chat. And when we have some other options available, I will be happy to include you in my email. And if you have any questions, you can throw those in the chat and I will be happy to answer those as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Tracy. So next up, we've got Mr. Adam Nema, who is from our Information Technology Department. These guys are masters when it comes to anything electronic. They can really, really help you out with whatever kind of technological issues or upgrades that you might need. And he's going to tell you all about that. So Adam, go ahead.
All right. Thanks, Sam. As Sam had said, that I'm the manager for actually both the UTC's help desk and for what we call the IT Solutions Center, which is completely student focused. We're there to help you out, and that's our location that's in person that you could stop by at any point, anytime, no appointment necessary to get IT assistance, especially, I know that's needed at the very beginning of the semester, but also throughout. So that's what we do as far as our main mission. If you give me a second here, I'm going to share my screen here so we can go right along through an FAQ I've got. Some of the most frequently asked questions that we get during the semester. So first of all, how do I get technical support from us? You can launch our Get Help website. All the links I'll be including here on the chat as well that I'll be mentioning today. So you can get our Get Help website. You can visit our IT Solutions Center in person when we're actually open for campus. And right now we're slated to do that during the beginning of the semester. However, right now our current location, as it shows, is in Pfeiffer Hall, room 105. But we are in the middle of transitioning to the first floor of Lupton. So we should be there for you to find us in that location. And hopefully that's a bit more easy to find. We'll be central to campus, and hopefully we'll be seeing you there if you need help in person. Otherwise, right now, if you even need assistance with some technical questions, things like that, or some just some tech advice on what to get, how to best be equipped for the semester, you can actually chat with our technicians at support.utc.edu. Just fill out a little description, what your question might be, and you should be paired up with one of our technicians that will get you started. Alternatively, if you also want to give us a call, of course, we have our number here at 423-455-4000. So what technical services does the IT Solutions Center offer? Pretty much anything that you would likely expect that most tech places would, kind of like we're sort of an on-campus geek squad, but this is all free of charge to students. And like I said, it's no appointment necessary. So this includes, issues like you want to get your console or your computer, your iPhone registered to the UTC's network. We can definitely get you set up there. We help with malware or virus removals if you feel like you've got one or you want us to check it out on your machine. We also help you install software if you need that for class. Also hardware troubleshooting and installation if you feel like something's failing on you, or you'd like maybe to upgrade a certain part, but you're not sure if it'll be compatible, things like that. That's certainly something that we do every day, all day, and have no problem giving you some help there. Same with consulting services. If you're looking to buy a new computer, or you're not sure how would this work with with my major, things like that, that's what we're here for as well. So we've got a lot of those questions. Like I said, it's available to all currently enrolled students, and all you have to do is just stop by, and no appointments necessary. So it's really flexible with your class schedule. So next, one question we get is, can I use my own wireless printer or network router on campus? Unfortunately, we don't have anything that's set aside to allow that, just because it would interfere a bit with the network. And just to kind of preserve that for everybody to have a stable connection, we just want to make sure that if you do bring a printer, You certainly are welcome to, even if it's a wireless printer. Most of those, even wireless printers, have USB connections that still allow you to plug your printer, directly up to your computer. And we'd say that's totally fine. It would just be the wireless part that you couldn't use. But as far as that goes, it's the same with routers as well. Routers, unfortunately, we don't have really anything set aside for our network to be configured to allow routers at this time. So there is that. But as I said, there's plenty of connections or wireless connections really strong in each room. You should be good to go with that. The next thing we hear about is Microsoft Office, and we definitely provide that for free to students while you're enrolled. So you would just simply, in order to get the Office suite, you would go to portal.office.com. You'd sign in with your Mox account or like your Mox email. So that'd be, like your Mox ID, ABC123, at mox.utc.edu, the password you set up with that account. And you should be able to sign right in. And one of the first things you should see in that upper right corner is how to download the suite. So if you really want to get ahead of things and go ahead and get that installed on your computer to be ready for the semester, that's definitely the way to go. Another question we get is, do you need to come to campus with a virus, protection installed on your machine? We would say, not really. If you have an up-to-date Windows machine, you should be fine completely with that. But if you did, say, for instance, want that extra layer of protection, whether you have a Windows or you're an Apple person, we definitely would recommend 3 different kinds, which would be either Avira, Avast, or Malwarebytes, like the home version. All of those are free, and they're both compatible for Apple or Windows machines. What other services you might want to know about? So there is the software distribution site from UTK. A lot of our software is obtained from there. You'll see maybe some of that even mentioned in your syllabi for your classes. If you're having issues with that, trying to log in with that, we can help you there. I've already mentioned O365. Google Apps, because your Mox account is also a Google account. You also have the Google Office suite available to you as well. So that's, Google Sheets, Google Docs, etc. If that's something that you like more than, say, the Microsoft bit for Office, that is certainly available to you as well, free of charge. As far as your email, of course, as I mentioned, that's your UTC ID at mox.utc.edu. Mox is a Gmail, your Moxmail account. You can also use this same email account to get student discounts, like with Amazon, for instance. I believe you can get Amazon Student Prime for 6 months, I believe, is free. You can get that. After that, it's like a discounted rate month to month, but that also has been known to really help out students with a lot of digital content, but also just getting whatever school supplies you might need as well. As far as local discounts, if you're not local to Chattanooga, you may not be aware that we have like a transit system, like for the buses, that you can use your Mox ID, for instance, to get on and basically get anywhere you need to around the city for free. A lot of local businesses also promote discounts to students for UTC. Lastly, if you're looking for kind of a position on campus, with any of the departments, we're certainly hiring ourselves. One of the popular concepts is that we, definitely look for computer science majors. That's not true. We actually are looking for everybody. As long as you're definitely wanting to work with people, and especially your fellow students. That's exactly what we do at the Solutions Center. We employ students to help other students. So if you feel like that's something you really would want to be a part of, we'd love to have you. And you can certainly reach our employment page as one of the links that I'm going to include in the chat below. So I think that's all I've got, Sam, but thank you.
Thank you so much, Adam. Let's see. All right, so next up, kind of bringing us on home, we've got Mr. Joel Wells, who's our university registrar, who's going to be talking about FERPA, which is a really important document, really important that all of our students kind of know what their rights are and what their privacy rights are. And Joel's going to tell you all about that. So Joel, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. I love that Sam says I bring it home. Not sure it feels like that some days, but here we are. So I am here to talk with you all about the Federal Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. That is a law that determines how your education records are protected and how they are communicated to other people. Let me share my screen and show you where you can find information on our office website about this law. A couple of things that you need to be mindful of with relation to FERPA. When you are enrolled in high school, all of the rights of FERPA are your parents. When you enroll in college, suddenly those rights flip over and you are in control of who finds out information about you. So if you would like for your someone to know about what's going on in your life at UTC, you will need to fill out the FERPA release form. And when you complete that form, you can identify anyone that you would like us to be able to talk with. So if you would like for your faculty members to talk with parents or guardians about your grades and classes, if you would like for the bursar's office to be able to talk about billing and other things, then you would need to complete this authorization form, and then people in offices at UTC will be able to talk with the people you want us to talk to, but we won't talk with people you don't want us to talk to. And so that's one of the important things about FERPA. It protects your education records and gives you control over that information. So if you wanted to go the other direction, and if you didn't want anyone to know that you were enrolled at UTC, you can also fill out the request to withhold directory information. And that ends up putting a confidential flag on your record so that we don't release information about you. Even if you were to make the dean's list, normally we celebrate accomplishments like that, but we would keep your information private if you wanted us to do so. The other way that you can keep your information private is by not giving your password to anyone. Once you give your password for your UTC login to someone else, they will have access to all of your academic information, your financial information, and things that you really should want to keep just to yourself. So our office works with education records a lot. If you want to take a summer class somewhere, you would engage with our office and ask for a transcript. And FERPA requires that you give your consent that that be released. And then we also, in terms of another way that we celebrate students, we put together the program for graduation. And unless you say that you don't want your directory information, we're going to put you in there once you finish all your requirements, and we are going to celebrate with you and your family once you finish the journey that you're starting in a few weeks with us. Our office is happy to help in ways that we can. I'll put a couple of links in the chat so you can get to the pages that I've shown you this afternoon. And then if you all have questions, we're happy to answer those.
All right, thanks so much, Joel. So at this point, we are pretty much all Q&A now. So if you have any questions at all, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I'll leave everything open for a little while. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them below, and we'll be happy to answer them. If you have gotten all the information you need, then you're good to go. You can head on out. But we are going to be here to help you out with whatever you need. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them now. All right, so it doesn't look like we have any questions. Looks like we've just about answered every question, or we've gotten all the information we need. Just in case anyone is typing right now, I'm going to talk slowly. But I want to give a huge thank you to all of our guest speakers here today. Thank you so much for taking time out of your days to tell us about all the cool things that your departments have to offer and how you can make the UTC experience that much better for our students. For all of our students who are here today and who are watching this chat, we still have a couple other sessions available for today. So make sure you check those out. If by chance you weren't able to get to a session today that you wanted to, all these sessions are happening tomorrow as well. So if you weren't able to get to check out something you wanted to today, come by tomorrow and you'll be able to check out all the cool things happening then. But other than that, I believe I'm going to go ahead and let everyone go off and be the amazing people that they are. Once again, thank you so much to our guest speakers, to our students. We cannot wait to see you in the fall. Everyone, please stay safe, stay healthy, and go Mocs. We'll see everybody in the fall.